Let's take a look at Samsung's first 3-in-1 phone, the Galaxy Z TriFold. In terms of design, build quality, and most importantly the UI, especially the Multitask UI in One UI 8 and in tablet mode, what is the difference between the UI, the operating logic, and Samsung's 3-in-1 phone, the Galaxy Z TriFold? First of all, let's take a look at the box. This is the phone case. The phone case has a plastic case at the bottom of the phone. It has a frosted texture and is made of carbon fiber, which is different from the glass fiber of the back of the phone. The front of the phone has a glass surface, Gorilla Glass Victus 2 ceramic. The bottom of the phone and the side of the phone are protected. It feels very solid. At present, Samsung's Galaxy Z TriFold is not officially released in USA. The one in my hand is the Korean version. Here, I would like to thank Samsung Electronics for lending this device to us so that we can do the initial unboxing and review. Let's summarize the basic specifications. It is located in the middle of the outer screen. It is a 6.5-inch, 21.9-inch screen. Z TriFold has 3 folds, but it actually has 2 mechanical rotation positions. The design of the Z TriFold is not a foldable phone like the Fold 7. It is a flat screen from a mobile phone. There's no in-between in the middle. But when you open it, it is a 16 by 11 10-inch tablet. We have reviewed many other Samsung tablets before, including the Tab S11 Ultra series. In this Z TriFold, the interface and full set of functions are exactly the same as the Tab S11 Ultra. We will talk about this in detail later. As for the mechanical workmanship, let's take a closer look. It has 3 folds, so it is a trifold. The middle part is the glass surface of the Gorilla Glass Ceramic 2, which is the screen. The left and right parts, including the middle part and the leftmost part, are the base of the back of the phone. The back of the phone is made of ceramic glass fiber reinforced polymer. Because it is not officially launched in Hong Kong yet, we temporarily call it a glass fiber material. It has IP48 dustproof and waterproof. The metal middle frame is made of Arma aluminum. The reinforced aluminum frame and the metal pivot are also made of Arma aluminum. The material is roughly the same as the Fold 7, and the design of the whole body and the design language are roughly the same as the Fold 7. But in fact, the 3-fold mechanism forced to put the USB-C plug at the bottom of the phone, and the dual speaker configuration is at the bottom and top of the screen. Each is placed on the screen. On the other hand, the fingerprint sensor and volume button are placed on the side of the phone, which is quite thin. The thickness is 3.9 millimeters, and it has a notch here. It is convenient for us to press it by hand. In fact, there will be more feeling of compression and friction, and the texture of the middle opening is easier than expected. It won't scratch the middle position of the right screen. In terms of reception control, it is roughly the same as the Fold 7. It's hard to see in this kind of direct sunlight, but in fact, in the direct sunlight, the angle of view is not as wide as the previous one. It doesn't affect the display content much. On the contrary, this large-scale flat-screen operation can achieve a uniform and smooth effect. It's impressive. It's as straight as a ruler. In fact, the thickness of the body and the feeling of the body. The S25H is naturally the thinnest in the whole series, 5.8 millimeters. The thickness of the Fold 7 is 8.9 millimeters. In fact, it is almost the same as the S25 Ultra, 8.6 millimeters. It's impressive. The thickness of the Fold 7 is 4.2 millimeters. This time, on the TriFold, we can see the thickness of the middle of the screen and the module on the left. In fact, it is close to the thickness of the Fold 7. In fact, the TriFold is 309 grams. The thickness of the Fold 7 is 12.9 millimeters. On the contrary, the thickness of the Fold 6 is close to that of the previous generation. The speed of technological advancement is still fast. especially in the field of foldable phones. In terms of hardware, especially when it is opened in 3 folds, its spring and rotation are completely solid. Basically, when you hold it, there is no flexing at all. It seems to fall back and feel unbalanced. Its flatness and the support of the module are higher than expected. It will automatically open. In the form of anti-gravity suction, it will open. This side also opens. It is stable. When you open it, you can get a 10-inch screen inside. Its ratio is 16:11. It is closer to the traditional 16:9. When watching videos or movies, it is a completely different level. As for the actual operating interface, the One UI 8 operating system is built on Android 16. The actual functions are roughly the same as those found on the Fold 7, but on the interface, it is worth noting that the Samsung DeX function will be provided in the notification drawer. When you directly press it, it has a flat computer operating interface similar to Samsung Galaxy Tab. In fact, it is an operating system interface that is close to a computer. It will display any application you open in the form of a floating window. Let's see how many apps we can open at most. TriFold is an official mobile phone. It can be used as a SIM card on a flat screen. This should be the first time. The Galaxy AI function is available here. 5 floating windows. 6 floating windows. Okay, we can open 5 apps at most. The biggest surprise is that we can even use TriFold as a flat-screen computer. In fact, Samsung Galaxy Tab can be used as a computer-like multi-screen. The real multitasking operation is to use the tablet itself as your main computer. TriFold has a built-in keyboard and mouse. It can be operated like a computer. At the same time, it can be used in a wireless way by projecting your TV or external screen into your computer's external second screen. You can also use TriFold as your main computer. Now I am using a Bluetooth wireless mouse to control TriFold. We are projecting the TV into our second screen in a wireless way, and at the same time we are controlling the screen of TriFold. We can open any application in the form of a floating window. Yes, we are projecting the TV into our second screen, or we can use the floating window to project the TV into our second screen. These are 2 independent workspaces that can be used as a real multi-screen multitasking. So, is TriFold a mobile phone or a flat-screen computer, or is it even your only computer? Anyway, there is also a normal Samsung DeX mode. There is even another surprise. Second screen can also be supported on TriFold. It can be used in a wireless way with your Galaxy Book or Windows computer. As your computer, a high-tech external screen can be connected. Multi-control is also supported. And the screen specifications on the Fold 7 can achieve the highest brightness of 2600 nits for both internal and external screens. On the TriFold, the external screen can do 2600 nits and the internal screen can do 1600 nits. In fact, 1600 nits is a high level on a large 10-inch display. We can use iPad Pro or Samsung's Galaxy Tab S11 Ultra as a standard. It is about 1600 nits. It is a tablet, after all. The cost of a large-sized AMOLED and the difficulty of manufacturing will be relatively small compared to the Fold 7. Now, it is a small size. It is even higher and more difficult. As for the rest of the hardware configuration, the camera is roughly the same as the Fold 7. It has a 200-megapixel main camera, a 24mm wide-angle lens, a 1/1.3-inch sensor, and supports optical image stabilization. In addition, it has a 10-megapixel ultra-wide-angle lens, triple optical zoom, and a 12-megapixel ultra-wide-angle lens. As for the battery, it has 5600 mAh and 45W wired charging. 15W wireless charging is also available. Reverse wireless charging, IP400 dust and water resistant, dual speaker configuration is also available. As for storage, it has 512 GB and 16 GB of RAM, or 1 TB and 16 GB of RAM. It is a base model with 16 GB of RAM. It is really a multi-purpose phone or a tablet computer. The processor is the Snapdragon 8 Elite. Although the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 will soon be available, including the S26 Ultra, it is still a 3-nanometer processor. For daily operation, multitasking, and even for gaming, there is no problem at all. In terms of performance, the 3.9mm thin body and the 5600 mAh battery, what is the actual battery life like? If there is a chance, I hope to do another in-depth test for you. As for the complete Galaxy AI, the entire set of AI functions are the same as other Samsung phones on the Galaxy Z TriFold. In fact, so far, it is still the strongest photo editor on the market. Object eraser, character or object removal, background, texture, high persuasion, and audio eraser. This feature is extended to automatically detect the soundtrack and remove the background noise. This feature is also extended to the voice recorder app, and the phone recording is also supported. The phone recording can directly reduce the noise. In addition, it is more unique. It is definitely worth mentioning that it is Samsung's original browser. In addition to the built-in function, it can also translate foreign languages and translate the translated content directly into Chinese. It is also no problem to read it in Cantonese. Even the PDF file can be translated directly into the language of your PDF file. After the translation is completed, it can be used for compilation or editing. The entire set of Google Germany services and AI functions are also available. The Korean version of today's test, of course, has the entire set of Google services. In conclusion, this design logic is actually in our earlier 1-2 years of MWC at the press conference in Spain. Samsung has always shown two types of threefold screens. One is the Z-shaped screen, which is a flexible screen, a foldable screen, directly exposed to the outside world. But in fact, I have always been looking forward to the TriFold form factor. This is a screen that can be folded and placed inside. Under the circumstances, I think it is reasonable to put the most sophisticated and high-tech foldable screen inside and be protected. It uses a metal and solid glass panel to put the foldable screen inside. This operating logic also directly makes me think that this TriFold and Fold 7 are two different levels. Now, finally, the technology has reached. The feeling of the TriFold is not an experimental product at all. In terms of workmanship, and especially the design of the gear, it's very clicky. It's very stable and firm, a flat screen, and it's very solid. It doesn't feel like any moving mechanical part. I believe Samsung had to wait until now to launch their TriFold. It's a technology that needs to be fully matured, including the thickness of the gear, the thickness of the body, the heat dissipation. In terms of performance, it's a perfect balance. And the first generation of TriFold is already a complete product. Compared to the first generation of Galaxy Fold, there's a big difference in completeness. The only thing to consider is the price and the availability of the international version.